Wireless network scanning, there are some utilities in here from Nearsoft that your antivirus is going to think are bad because they can be used as hacking tools. That does not mean they're malware, it means they can be misused. We are using this, a network scanner. Would that be a hacking tool? Sure. What it's doing is letting us see what's here. That's called footprinting. Because when you're hacking something, the first thing you have to know is what's going on. It's like a reconnaissance. You're looking to see what it looks like. So is this illegal? No. Because your phone is doing that all the time. It's scanning for other networks all the time. Every wireless device does that. It's trying to find all the networks around you. However, some of these things could be considered malware because if they're used maliciously, you could be in trouble. I mean, it can do bad things. Now, this one, when you're viewing wireless keys, you'll want to disable your antivirus for this one because it'll probably catch it. Because this lets you see the network keys on your computer, the wireless network keys on your computer. But it only lets you that's sitting down at your computer see them. That's all it does. And I just forgot that I actually have a wireless card on this and I can demonstrate all these, can't I? People don't know. I'm going to download each of these and show how they work because my little desktop computer here has a wireless in it. But first I want to disable my antivirus just because some of these will do what I call a false positive, meaning I'm not using it for bad things. I'm using it for educational purposes. And we're going to disable the virus and threat protection for now. And right here it says manage settings. I'm going to turn it off. And it says, oh, are you sure you want to do that? Uh-oh, my device is vulnerable. Well, it is, but I'm not going to do anything dumb. So let's start with this one. This is just a wireless network scanner, so it should not be a bad thing. So here we are at Nearsoft. Oh boy, you can see they have all kinds of things here, don't they? But if you look through, there's network monitoring tools, which are most of the ones we're going to look at. And there's one called Wireless Net View, which is, oh, it's actually right at the top, isn't it? Cool. So here is the Wireless Net View scanner. And interestingly enough, in this website, all the download links are at the bottom of the page. It'll be there somewhere. They have lots of information that's way beyond anything I want to know. There it is. We are 64-bit. Well, look at there. I'm going to open up the folder. You can't run a program from inside a zip file because it's a container that doesn't let you do anything. You have to right-click and extract it. Let's see if anybody eats up the file. Oh, no. Sometimes it'll eat up the file when you try to run it. Now I have to make sure my wireless is, yeah, whatever. Oh, my wireless must be on. Look at that. Ooh, oh, man. Look at all those access points. So there's my signal quality. There's my average signal quality as long as this has been running. Here's the channel I'm on. There's the frequency. What else can we see here? Everything here at the place is Cisco. This is my ruckus wireless up there. It causes a ruckus wherever it goes. Haha. Notice this has WPA security. Notice that the WNCC internet does not. That's because this is a guest network and we have secret things in this room we don't want people to look at, do we? Okay, this is a tough crowd. We don't have anything in here that's secret. Yeah, when it starts maximum signal connected. Anyway, there's more stuff than we even need to look at. So this is a very easy to use wireless scanner. One of the reasons you might want to do this at home, if you can change something in your wireless access point, is if everybody's using channel 11, well, you may want to change to a different channel because they would interfere with each other. It's like with wireless, if your wireless access point is right next to a microwave, well, you might lose your wireless signal when you turn on your microwave. Because that gives radiation, and so does wireless. It's electromagnetic radiation. Well, what's our next friend to look at? We have, now we're going to hack somebody's computer. If I have access to your computer, physical access, it's not your computer anymore. I forgot what the name of it was. Wireless key view. Oh, I'm on the right page. Wireless key view. Now, this is one I know antivirus programs do not like. Sure.
If you hack someone's computer, are you going to be in another account?
All right. So some of these things we download have a key. They're encrypted. So I have to copy that key, then I'm going to download wireless key viewer. Now I've had students do this on their laptop and they're like freaking out. Oh, anybody can get to this. Can anybody get to your computer from the internet and run this program? That's the question. Can they? Can somebody get to your computer like I'm doing and run this program if they're on the internet or on a different computer? Can they do that? The answer is no.
Just if you don't have password, right?
If I can sit down at your computer and it looks like this may not run. Yeah, it may not run on my computer. Huh, I don't know why. Well, we're not going to get to do that one. Sometimes things change and they don't work. This one is not working. So I say more info and I didn't say run anyway. There we go. I said stop running. Uh-oh, look at there. I've got it. Password 01. I can get into the network. Oh, I have no idea what this is. I'm never connected in any other network except this one. Oh, this is a virtual adapter. It means nothing. Yeah, this is just part of Windows. So ignore that. But now I have password 01. If I do that to Christie's computer, I have access to everything. Now the next one. Now, would this be useful for you? I don't know. It's mostly we're doing things for training. Networks Wireless Watcher is another one. What do you suppose Network Wireless Watcher does?
Yes.
That's what it does. It finds everybody in your wireless network, gives a name, gives the MAC address, gives all that kind of information. But it just does it for wireless. It doesn't do it for everybody on the network. So that's fun. If I go through each of these and run them, it's going to take a little longer than I want because I'm talking at the same time. Wireless information. This is what your laptops and everything are doing all the time. They're looking and finding all this stuff, which we looked at in the other program. So there's not a lot of difference between this and the other one that we looked at. And this one is a pretty nice one that does this. So doing it here is not going to be a big deal. Do it at home. Do it in the dorms. You'll find in the dorms, you'll have like 5,000 access points stepping on each. Does anybody live in the dorms here? You do? Oh, when you run this in your dorm room, you'll find 5,500 access points because every room has their own access point. So you won't find 5,500. I am exaggerating. Where I live, I'm out in the country. Where we are, all we see is WNCC internet. But Alan, where you live in Eliza, you're going to see all kinds of things on here. So that's a fun one. Fun is relative. I think it's fun. Then we have this one that does, and then we have da-da-da-da-da-da. Wi-Fi analyzer on smart Google, Android smartphones is pretty cool. However, we do have something similar on an iPad. So there's the directions to do that. We're going to go have a little walkabout in just a minute and see how things change. But before we do that, has anybody used speedtest.net before? Alan has, because he's been in some of my classes. How about you, Christy?
Yeah, once or twice.
Okay, so what this does is it tests the speed of your internet from here. Well, is this fair? Grand Island's on the same internet connection I am. So this is going to give really good bandwidth. Because this server is not out on the internet. We're on the same network. Because Network Nebraska services lots of educational, state, all those kinds of people. It's a state connection that we're part of. Oh, it even says Network Nebraska, doesn't it? Yeah. So this is giving me like a report on like my full bandwidth, depending on, you know, how good their stuff runs. So we probably need to change the server. I guess I can't change the server until this is done. Yeah, so this makes it look good, right? Well, let's pick something far away. Oh, it just has, let's go to Laramie. That's not that far away, but it's not going to be quite the same because we have to go several places before we get there. So what would cause this to go slower to Laramie than it does to Grand Island? Grand Island's going to be very fast because it's basically we're on the same internet. Why would it be slower going to Laramie? What would be some of the factors that would cause it to be slow? What do you think, Christy? Ask the question again. What factors would cause our connection from here to the University of Wyoming to be slower than our connection between here and Grand Island? That's one. Yep. What would be some other factors? There's several factors. Distance, yeah, would cause a little bit of latency, but what would you have more of over distance? You'd be hitting more. You'd be having more hops, which means you're hitting more routers and servers. And so at any point, if there's a router that's overloaded, that bottleneck will slow you down. Maybe in Laramie, their server that does the speed test is overloaded. And there's too many people speed testing it. So it can be anything. Any point along the way could be slowing it down. And quite often, internet speed of downloads and that depends on the capacity of the server and their connection to the internet. So I've downloaded things from Hewlett Packard, which is a big international company, that just took forever. And it's because they were probably overloaded or they didn't have enough resources to provide the bandwidth necessary. So I just picked one in Torrington, and that's not bad. But to get to Torrington, we're going to have to jump out and go around too. To get to there, we have to go out on the internet, use other people's stuff. So the minute you leave your network, you're using other people's equipment. You have no control over it. Yeah, see, between here and Torrington, they must have a pretty good connection to the internet. And whatever server is providing the server is pretty good, and their connection to the internet is pretty good. So even though they're physically way closer, it's still pretty good. What's an equivalent distance here? Cheyenne is not equivalent. Sterling is close. I don't want servers close to me. How about if we do, what do you do, Seattle? Yeah, let's do Seattle. We'll do Seattle Comcast. Now that's more like your normal connection if you're going to Google or something like that. Yeah, so I'm going to Seattle. and I'm getting faster speed than I get from the University of Wyoming. That's interesting. So your interconnect connection hasn't changed. What's changed is something between here and there. It could be on, since it's consistently different in each place, it's not my connection to the internet. That's not the issue. The issue is from my connection to the internet to wherever I'm going. That's where the issue is. All right, I'm going to stop my recording. We're going to take a little walkabout here.